Hello, my name is Diversai. It is Wednesday, and that means it is time for the weekly quest. For the first one, we're going to be using Annie with 3 times Dreadway Chase Gun. You only have 1 or 2, you can do that. What we're doing here is, let's show the quest. The first quest is called Champion Your Cause. I have played champions from Freljord or Bandle City. This is going to vary depending on your account, so it could be any 2 regions here. The alternative is you can play 0-cost cards. And I've been wanting to show how we can use Annie to get a lot of credit very fast for the Victorious. So we're going to be doing that here. And we're just going to be going into the Swift Scout adventure. Now, I do not want to finish the Swift Scout adventure because if I do so, I'll get 10 random shards, because Annie can't get shards, I think that's how it works, or they'll be Stardust. So we're not going to finish, but I'm just going to show how fast we can go through this. And if we're offered a 0-cost spell in the adventures, we're going to take that, or any other 0-cost card would be good. And so we're going to drop our Annie. We can't even hold all these warning shots. And so we complete that adventure. This gives us 1 point towards Victorious. Oh, this is the wrong build. So I originally did this with Luden's Tempest, which is why I had some credit. So we're just going to go ahead and retire. The problem with Luden's Tempest is, even if you play them very fast, if you destroy the enemy nexus, no spell that you play afterwards counts. So you don't want to do that. And, I mean, honestly, we wanted to restart anyway, so it's fine. We can pick any power there. It doesn't actually matter. We just make sure you have Annie in hand. She's going to win. So you can just drop Annie. And as you can see, having more than 2 Dreadway Chase Gun doesn't even do anything because you don't have hand space for it. But the goal here is really just to burn the enemy nexus extremely quickly. In doing so, we get 1 point of progress towards the Battle Pass, quest Victorious, and I think every 6 of those you get 6 or 8. You get 6 Battle Pass points. So basically, every time you win an adventure with Annie, you're getting 1 Battle Pass point. And she is the fastest way to complete an adventure. I guess if you had a 6-star Misfortune, that would be faster. Or like Gwen 6-star. But of the non-6-star options, you have Annie here. If we had second Annie in hand, we could use Death's Hand, although that would have killed the Nexus anyway.
Let's go make some more friends.
And then just take any card, any power. If you see something that's 0 cost, you can take that. But the idea is that you want to just go through the adventure very quickly. And so you don't really want to be thinking about making any decisions that are unnecessary.
Come on, Tibbers. It's playtime.
And so even without the attack token on most of these runs, we've gone through 4 games in about 4 minutes. So you're looking at 1 battle pass point per minute. Yeah. So if you need to do that. I'm going to come back when we are finished because I think I've sufficiently illustrated how fast Annie is at getting battle pass credit. And so we've completed that. You are, of course, welcome to play the champions from the regions. If you get Ionia, for example, you have a very easy time just recalling and replaying Ahri. Yeah, you could use Gnar, use one of your region, and you're able... No, that's level up. So yeah. Basically, if you have Ionia, you can play Ahri, and that's the best way to do it. Otherwise, I would just use Annie on this adventure, or just play the game normally and play something from the region that you enjoy playing. And so for that we get 8 battle pass points. And the second quest is win a game with Draven or Ashe in your deck. It's actually kind of funny because you can't play Draven naturally, or heal damage allies 8. So we're just going to play Ashe here. And I haven't actually looked at her build in ages, but it doesn't matter, we're just going to be doing the same thing. If you get a champion, or I guess it could potentially be 2 champions that aren't in Path of Champions, you can just make a deck and go against the AI. And that should just be fine.
These old eyes still see far and clear. Patience.
You have the beast within here for overwhelm, so that it doesn't matter what our opponent is doing.
These stories were true.
And since we know they're going to play a card, we don't really want to play
Safeguard our home.
Ashe when the Enraged Yeti does more damage. So that's it. We complete the quest. And again, every time we beat one of these easy adventures, we're getting 1 battle pass point. And we get 8 battle pass tokens for completing champion victory. Take any card, we're going to retire anyway. And the next quest is Grand Moments. Play 6+ cost spells, and for that we're going to be using Jayce. So we're using Jayce with his relic. You don't need to use his relic, and Chem-Tech Duplicator. Chem-Tech Duplicator is probably the only thing that matters here. And then, of course, we just do the same thing. Could use Heimerdinger. He has some 6 cost spells in his deck. The downside to him is that Exploderator does discount spells, whereas in Jayce's case, he's going to create a 6 cost spell every round, and those aren't going to get discounted. So here we have Dragon's Rage. I could have played Mariam, would have given us an extra mana.
May Janna's will be done through me.
And that's 1. We're going to hold off on assembly lines until we get Jayce on the board. And it doesn't matter what we play him as here.
I fight for a brighter tomorrow.
Because of Chem-Tech Duplicator, this should count as 3.
Tomorrow has never looked so good. Hey, do that again.
And because of his relic, we do refill our mana. If you don't have his relic, it just takes a little bit longer. Use like Archangel's staff instead. It should be 4 and 5.
Interesting use of tech. Little help.
6 and 7.
The power spike. Interesting use of tech.
Oh, and 8.
I hear they are the art of very best. Replicating the power
And that
spike.
should be sufficient.
Hey, show me that again.
If you do need your Battle Pass points,
Clear the range.
you can win the game. I've already completed the Battle Pass points because I'm making a ton of videos. So I'm just playing a lot of games, and so I'm fine just hitting the surrender button. I'm also bad at counting, so maybe,
Not testing
you know,
an artifact
toss
like
in an
this.
extra one there. But for grand moments, we do complete that, and we get 8 Battle Pass points. And the next adventure we have is Mecha Tech, Summon Tech, or Mecha-Yordles, or strike with 5 cost units 65 times. It's very hard, so we're going to use Heimerdinger. And for Heimerdinger, we're going to be using Disciple of Shadows, Archangel's Staff, and Chemtech Duplicator. I don't know that any of that's actually necessary. Chemtech Duplicator is obviously great, so you probably want to use that. And we need to do this 40 times, and for that we'll get 8 Battle Pass points. As always, okay, another run is in progress, apparently in a Swain adventure. And now we're out of our Swain adventure. I don't think any powers will help with this. And we just need to summon, so it doesn't matter how they are created. We're forced to start with Heimer on board, or in hand, because we haven't picked a support champion yet, so we don't need to worry about what's in our hand. We can drop things here to just start generating spells. I like Disciple of Shadows because it lets you, even with 2 starting mana, play Heimerdinger down on round 3, or round 2 rather. And as soon as he's on the board, you can start making use of him. So here's 1 tech.
Easy does it.
It is.
2 tech. And we can wait for Chemtech Duplicator to become active before we really start doing anything. So this is 3 and 4. This is going to be 5, because we don't have board space, it's not going to be 6. But we are able to drop 6.
Persistence is key.
And 7. And so a thing you can do is play Hex Obliterator. So this will start costing 1 and it'll start being the only card in your deck. You can also remove one of your own units. So if you need to play Epic Scrap Traption, you can do it that way by removing a unit from the board. I failed to do so here.
Some rock got me good.
But every time you do that, you get 2 cards. And as your mana goes up, you can start combining that with Heimerdinger's Progress Day.
My most groundbreaking invention to date.
And then you get into a cycle where you are making these 1-cost techs, and then also playing 1-cost units, which refills your spell mana by 1. So we got our Hex Obliterator here. Makes us 2, I guess there's 0-cost techs, which is even better. And then we draw into Hex Obliterator. Which gives us 0-cost techs. It's not necessarily infinite because you can run out of draw, but eventually it should be as you play more cards. As you play more Hex Obliterators, because of Grifter's deck, you'll be shuffling more in, and eventually that'll be the only thing in your deck. You can pull more cards out using Progress Day. That will shuffle a Progress Day back in your deck, of course. So you just need to be aware of that. And then just kind of make sure your hand doesn't overfill, as usual. We block not because we have to, but because we don't want them doing things in future rounds. So again, you play your text, play Hex Obliterator, play the text that you pick up from that. Playing that refills your spell mana and draws you a card. Hopefully that card is Hex Obliterator. And then we just play it some more. And that's it. Repeat until you hit 40. And for completing Mecha Tech, we do get 8 Battle Pass points. And the next one is called Gaining the Advantage, and rounds with more units than your opponent. Already using Heimerdinger, no reason not to keep doing that. I don't know that we want more cards. It's fine, we can take more Hex Obliterators, I guess. And we just keep going down the line here. And since we don't need to change off Heimerdinger, and I'm fine beating this adventure with Heimerdinger because I could use more shards with him. And so, nothing special here, we just need to end the round with more units than our opponent, so we just need to play units.
You know what my future is? Glorious!
So that is 1.
Let us take a peek at life beneath the waves.
And 2.
Happy to do whatever's needed.
My research!
Care for a taste of tomorrow?
Requires just 1.21 gigahexes. Yes, again!
3. Now that we have a nice board, we can just kind of relax. 4.
I'm on it.
5.
Remember, we're the ones who make progress happen.
Obviously, we want to kill those units if they attack us. We also have like Aftershock and Hex Splitterator in hand to remove them if it like gets too much. But aside from that, we're just passing 20 times. I think they'll potentially run out of cards before we finish. So if that happens, we'll just go to the next adventure. But we're not doing anything particularly creative or interesting here. We're just pressing the pass button. And so I'll be back when this is complete. And for completing gaining the advantage, we get 8 battle pass points. We did end up having to restart because our opponent died. You know, that happens. And the next thing is Manaflow Master, spend 100 mana. I would say the best way to spend 100 mana is to just play the game. Have a good time. You could get into that infinite loop that we were doing with Heimerdinger earlier, where you just play Hex Splitterators and draw into 0-cost units. That would take you approximately forever. The best thing to do is just like wait out a bunch of rounds, and for that we're going to be using Archangel Staff, Chem-Tech Duplicator, and the Berserker's Buckle on Jack. And the reason we're using Jack is because he has a lot of ways to generate mana, and then he also has a lot of ways to spend that mana. For your power, I don't think it actually matters what you take, but maybe like Perfected Mana Flow would be good, for example. Because it'll just get you more mana faster. And again, the best way is just play the game. Have a good time and all that. But that's not what we do here. You also use like Luminous Orb and Starforge Gauntlets if you have it. That gives you an extra mana gem to start, which gives you more room to spend your mana. So right now we've spent 4 mana. And we can just use our prize fights for no reason. That'll put us up to 6 mana. We can save our coins for when Jack is on the board and we have Chem-Tech Duplicator active. That's 10 mana. And the important thing is that you don't overcap your hand, of course. And Knuckle is basically how we plan on spending most of our mana here. So now Chem-Tech Duplicator is active. This will fill 12 mana. Obviously we don't have 12 mana, so that's the choice.
Let me guess, Knuckle. The screaming's your work?
Maybe. Yeah, it was me.
I bull. That just makes the fighting sweeter. Taking a hand along with it.
And then just look for more ways to spend mana. And that's the whole thing. Just do this until you spend 100. Jack refills mana, which is good. He has expensive cards, which is good. He generates prize fights, and additionally he gives himself coins when he strikes. So all of this will result in you being able to play like a lot of spells, gain a lot of mana, spend a lot of mana, and then of course his Knuckle Mako Bowl combination lets you spend just a ton of mana. Here I'm out, so it's probably worthwhile at this point to, well, we're close to the point where we get his champion spell, so we can just hold out a little bit. His champion spell is very expensive, so we can use that, but it might be worth just restarting the game at this point, since we are not drawn into anything super useful. If you have a recall, so like if you go like one adventure further maybe, and you get something that can recall, then you would be able to use a recall on Knuckle, and then you'd be able to play the whole chain again. So if you got like a Monastery of Piranha or something, that would be kind of fun. Probably unlikely that that happens, so we just kind of do this, and we have way more mana than we can spend here. I'm just going to eat this because I want these units alive to use Risky Venture on to spend 4 more mana. Anyway, I think the correct thing to do is actually just restart. So I'll come back after I finish spending my 100 mana. We can see what it's at after this round. Maybe we'll get lucky and pull Knuckle. No, pull Jack again.
Anyone fit against me? No? Now this is a fight! Anyone fit against me? No? Haven't hit you with my good arm yet.
I don't know if duplicated spells count as spending mana twice. Yeah, no idea.
So many questions.
Anything else?
I have long since lost how much mana we've spent in this fight.
Anyone fit against me? No?
Blade sharp eyes.
Back on the boat. Bilgewater is waiting.
They spent 54 there, I just need to do that one more time. For battle reward, we want to take something that's really expensive, so whatever costs the most here, Remembrance is fine. And then for support champion, same deal, whatever costs the most. So I think this package overall costs the most mana. And then we can check to see if duplicated spells do give you double credit. I'll be back at the end. Okay, it looks to me like duplicated spells do give you double credit. So let's go back to our buddy Heimerdinger here. And Heimerdinger has a couple of nice things going for him for spending. For one, he has Epic Scrap Traction. If we play it twice on full mana, that's going to count as 26. And so basically that's the only thing we're going to do. We're just going to chill here until we have maximum mana, and then we're going to play Epic Scrap Traction. I was at 64, so that'll give us 26, which will put me to 90, so I just need to spend 10. I can use this progress day here. That'll be 10. Could have waited till next round, but it was bleeding. I think it was bleeding. I have no idea. Oh yeah, for memory game. Also got memory game. So now we're just going to pass a little bit. I revised that statement. I tried it. It looked like it was working on Jack. I counted my mana. It was working fine. I tried it on Heimerdinger. It doesn't look like that happened. I'm not sure if Epic Scrap Traction just doesn't double, or if it... So I tried it on Epic Scrap Traction, and I'm not sure Epic Scrap Traction doubles. Either that or just Heimerdinger or I was wrong on my mana counts on Jack and duplicating doesn't work at all. I'm not sure, so I don't know. Heimerdinger might still be good because he has the spell that uses your entire mana pool, which is nice. I'm going to test again here. This should put me at 90. It looks like it does not duplicate. So yeah, Heimerdinger might still be a good option, just because his champion spell is really expensive. Just don't play Hex Obliterator, except to fill up your cards, because Progress Day does draw a lot of cards. So do that, and then I'd probably get rid of Chemtech Duplicator, just so that you're not drawing 6 instead of 3. That'll just make it take a little bit longer. And for that, you get 8 Battle Pass tokens. And the next quest is Leona's Conviction. Stun enemies with Leona 10 times. And for that, we are going to be using Grand General's Counterplan, Deceiver's Crest, and Tempest Blade. I think there's something with like Bound Fortune starting deck where you create a Robin, which is really good. So if you have Found Fortune, you can use that, and then you get Daybreak, and then Daybreak is what triggers her spells, and the spells trigger the stun. I said spells, it's her power. So you can do that, and that's a good option. I'm using this build, it should be fine. I don't know if the Tempest Blade will count as stunning with Leona, we're going to find out. But basically we want them to have a very large board, drop Leona, and then, yeah, we're going to have a lot of stuns. They drop Robin here. I'm gonna go ahead and pass, let them build up a slightly bigger board, just so it's easier to test if this stun works on everything. I guess it's on level up anyway, we're not really close to leveling up. So let's go ahead and play cards. So that is 1 stun.
Rock got me good.
A shield for allies, a sword for enemies.
Raise your weapons, Sunwind.
Anything else?
Behold the divine power of the sun.
And that is 2 or 8 stuns. Three or 9 stuns. Four or 10 stuns. Hopefully it's 10. Leona's animations take forever. And it did count, so we get 12 Battle Pass points for using Tempest Blade. The next quest we have is called Recruiter, summon 50 units. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things you can do with Heimerdinger, you can do it with basically anything, just gotta play the game a little bit. I have a dumb idea with Neeko that I want to try, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. but I mean, there's so many options. You can play Ari, replay cards 100 times, play Heimerdinger. If you have Gwen, you can just kind of like start the game if she's 6-star and you summon 4 units. So you could just like start the game a few times. Evelyn creates husks, Elise creates spiders. There's endless options. Diego creates encroaching mist. So yeah, I mean, do kind of whatever you want there. My dumb idea is Neeko, and ideally we pick like sorcery or something here. I probably shouldn't have taken that. That might be the worst thing I could have taken. And the build I'm using is Mecha Tech Duplicator and 2 Grand General's counterplans. My idea is that we're not going to play any other cards here. And try to kill that card, and then we'll just play Shape Splitter.
I will learn. I will grow. I will.
And each Mecha Tech Duplicator will duplicate another card, or another unit, and they'll be ephemeral, so presumably they'll just die. And they'll also be able to summon more copies. It's gonna be slow though. Summoning a bunch of units is very slow. So I'll come back when we're at Mecha Tech and see how it works. And we've hit Mecha Tech Duplicator. So the idea here is that it'll play a bunch of times. We might need to play them sequentially, but this is filling up our board anyway, so we can just do this. It's going to take a long time to finish, but I mean, all of these are going to die, which means our board isn't going to get full, and since our board isn't going to get full, yeah. We can keep re-summoning. And I'll play this Frostcoat Cub here. Try to get him killed. So we have a little more space to summon more Neeko. That's it, I'll be back when I'm done. Alright, that worked, but it was absolutely miserable. I would suggest not doing that. We would just play the game normally, maybe play Ari, that would be way more fun than what I just did. Play Heimerdinger, I think it's probably faster. Or just, you know, as always, just play the game. That's always the most fun way to do these. But Recruiter is finished. Man, that was a miserable experience. I just went through so many animations, I think I'm traumatized. And Neeko was definitely Neeko the whole time. The next thing is Karma's Patience. Win games after reaching 10 mana. There's no way to really speed that up. You can use one of your champions that has an extra mana gem to start. You get lucky and roll into Perfected Manaflow, and that'll make it a little faster. And I think some of the champions do have, what's the word? Things that make them faster? Ramp. Ramp is the word that we're looking for. And one of those champions is Lux, you could use. And the other one is Elder Dragon. So Elder Dragon's starting deck has Sharp Sight in it with a mana gem. It has this guy with a mana gem. And so Elder Dragon is probably the fastest way. You can also just put Starforge Gauntlets on him. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You don't have Starforge Gauntlets, still probably the best way. And of course you can always use Lux. She has her Secession power, which does give you a mana gem as well. But there's no like real speeding this up, although we do get Perfected Manaflow here, so hilarious. But you just have to win 3 games after reaching 10 mana. So the goal here is to reach 10 mana as fast as possible. So we keep Sharp Sight, we keep Otrani, and this should get us to 10 mana gems fairly quickly.
I have pledged my life to dragon.
That's +1. I'll put us at 6? 8? Okay, alright, he gets 1 on the next round after he's played. We do have to win the game, so there's a little bit of playing that we're going to have to do here. But I believe we'll be at 10 mana gems next round.
I am Dragon's Wrath.
And we just do that 3 times. Nothing really incredible there, and I'll be back when that's done. This is maybe one of the only ones where I wouldn't really suggest playing the game normally. You're generally speaking not going to hit 10 mana gems. So here, if you have the opportunity to get something with Crystal Carrier on it, you want to take that. I didn't, but it's fine. I perfected Manaflow. I'm not super concerned. Alright, we do that, and we're finishing Karma's Patience. We get 12 Battle Pass points, and then we can move on to our last challenge, which is going to be Courageous Hearts. Attack with 2 different champions in 1 round. There's like a number of ways you could do that. I don't know what the best is. You could like do a Lysandra run with like an infinite like Ari Katarina using 2 star gems. I think the opponents have enough hit points there that they would last for a while. What I'm gonna do is Guardian's Trinket on Thresh. I was considering Luminous Orb, Starforged Gauntlets, which does make sense, but I think Laurent Blade Rack is actually maybe better. This way we can choose our challengers, and the second thing doesn't matter there. And so Guardian Trinket will give us a starting extra champion in our deck, and we can see what that is ahead of time. So we have Rek'Sai, which is maybe the worst possible option. It's fine, we'll take Memory Game so we can just drop her twice, but we're probably just gonna, honestly, Rek'Sai is the worst possible option, so we're just gonna go on to the next round, or we can just restart. There's really no point in doing this. Rek'Sai is terrible. She just won't stay on the board, and since she's not gonna stay on the board, we can't attack with her multiple times. Being, of course, the whole point of what we're doing here. We could go to our support champion and then pick up something maybe better there, but like, why are we starting from a disadvantage, right? We'll just do it again. No reason not to. Wasted no time. And this time we get Trundle with Quick Strike Blade. That's kind of annoying, but it's fine. It's better than Rek'Sai. We go into our friend Boom Baboon, and we just repeat what we've been doing. We're going to wait until they have a full board. We're going to attack with Thresh and Trundle. And that's kind of the whole thing. Thresh's power is... Thresh costs 1 less for each ally that has died this game, so if we can kill things, we can get them out a little bit quicker. We don't really need to do that, because we need to have Trundle in hand anyway. So we get Trundle. We're not going to want to kill any of their units, because when Trundle comes down, he's going to do that attack, which we want our opponents to block. So by killing our units here, we're going to be able to play Thresh now, and then we'll play Trundle next round. The Trundle is unfortunately going to kill something here. Or they'll take 4 damage, I guess. And then we're fine to just attack with both our champions. And since we have Laurent Blade Rack, we're not going to kill the enemy nexus. we're never going to play this, because if we do, Trundle will get overwhelmed, which we don't want to happen. Thresh will eventually level up, and he'll summon a Trundle, so that'll be, I guess, a little bit frustrating, but overall fun. And we don't want to block anything because we want them to have units on the board for 1 Mecha Tech. We want to avoid playing Phantom Prankster because that'll win the game.
The sunbrock got me good.
But I am playing cards here. The goal is mostly to see if we can get a second Thresh. The reason we would want a second Thresh is so that we could replace our current Thresh so he didn't level up. That did not work, so we're going to be attacking with a leveled Thresh. Although that should count as attacking with 2 champions in the same round. Just don't know if the game is going to count it properly. I'm going to go ahead and do this way. And hopefully they block. So I believe this is 3 and we need to do it 5 times. And that looks fine. We have 2 more units on the board. And we can just burn all our cards here. We only have 4 cards left. So that is a timer for us, but that timer is fine. And they have 10 cards, so that's perfectly sufficient. And again, with Lorn Blade Rack, we're able to choose our attacks, which means that we can attack 5 times, even against something as easy as Boom Ba Boom, as long as you don't get Rek'Sai. And then we finish that. That is Courageous Heart. For that, we get 24 battle points, and that is all the quests for this week. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Do not play Neeko on the Summon 50. That was an absolutely miserable experience. And aside from that, yeah, hope you learned something, hope this helps, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe. Okay, bye.